A lot of fun.
How cool is that?
And
What a great way to grow up,
It was
though,
a good
guys,
way to
huh?
grow up.
Good
You
way to
learned
grow
a
up.
lot, didn't you, out there?
made me a career, basically. I made my living on the ocean my whole life,
Your whole life.
doing something. So,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's because of you two.
yep.
It's all your fault. Yeah, it's all your fault.
Look what happened.
You
Yeah,
know,
no,
Got him hooked.
forever and ever, me and Kenny, we spent a lot of time together over the years since I was a little kid, but he always talks about you two. There's never a day where we're together where he doesn't bring one of you guys up. So you were a huge influence on Kenny, man. And
Yeah.
Kenny was a huge influence on me. So it's so cool to get to sit here and listen to these stories. So now you guys are working on the boats, and somebody doesn't even understand there was a pier at Capo Beach.
That's correct. We
So-
ran off at Capo.
Yeah.
Capistrano Beach, guys, just north of Dana Point Harbor, there was a big pier there. But how many sport boats ran out of there? Just you guys, right?
We
A
ran
lot
out
of
there
fun.
one season. That's all.
South of
Oh,
Dana
really?
Harbor.
Why only one
south of
season? What
Dana Point.
happened?
It's,
North,
it's
south.
south of Dana Point.
South, I mean,
and,
that's
and north of the
of
second
the pier, right?
Probably about halfway between.
Right
So-
where the road comes down from the Palisades.
Right.
The one that goes Palisades Drive. Right there was where the pier.
That was the pier and the clubhouse. There was a big
Clubhouse,
clubhouse and a
yeah,
swimming
yeah.
pool, right?
That's after Johnny Norris sold the operation to Bob Callis,
Okay.
and for some reason Bob said he said we'll run an operation off of Capo Pier. I couldn't see really what's the point. You've got San Clemente Pier.
Right, and everybody's going to the San
Yeah,
Clemente
so we
Pier.
went up there, and believe it or not, most of our customers, our loyal
Followers.
customers, followed us up there,
Okay.
and we just fished there 1 year.
And then why was that?
Well, that was enough, you know.
Well, I
And-
mean, what happened was the pier disappeared.
And of course, remember they had a big storm,
And the
Boy,
surf
and it
breaks.
knocked that
Towards
pier
the pier
down.
away.
Yeah.
and it
Plus-
was so hard to get for us to get on the boats. We had to use a ladder and a rope to swing out to get the ladder to get down to the skiff to get out to our boats.
Oh my
It was
God.
tough.
And then that swell at Capo Beach is huge because of the reefs that are there. So you must have had a hell of a time
Yeah.
loading people on the boat.
Well, I don't remember had too much trouble.
Oh,
No,
really?
we never had any problem. Ever lost anyone or had anyone get hurt loading,
Okay.
loading
Yeah.
passengers.
That's what Kenny was saying about San Clemente Pier when he was a kid.
Okay, you talk about having trouble getting people on the boat. When I was working with Sammy, we ran the 5 o'clock boat,
Okay.
and it was early in the spring, so it was darn near dark. And the loading ramp at San Clemente Pier worked on chain fall. It could be raised and lowered depending on the tide,
Tide, right?
Height of the tide. And Nelson Cook was he's about over 6 feet.
Oh, a big
He's
guy,
a big,
yeah.
tall guy. And we were loading passengers, and somebody up on the pier hollered down and said, "Boy, look at the size of this swell coming." And so the boats had a spring line that was fastened to the bit up in the bow of the boat, and it had a big loop. It was about a half-inch stainless steel cable. And there was a hook that came out from a great huge spring underneath the pier. And I had to put that loop at the end of that spring line on that hook. And then we would run up against the side of the pier, which had railroad tracks running on the pilings.
Oh, metal
So,
railroad
and
track.
a
Okay.
rub rail on the boat had a big piece of steel so they could pull up and
And you
down.
had hard left rudder, keep that
Yes.
turn into
Right up
Keep
next
it
to the
against
pier.
pier.
Okay.
That's right.
Anyway, somebody said, "Boy, you ought to see this swell coming." So Sammy went to back off, and for some reason, the hook on the pier turned around backwards, and I couldn't get the loop off.
Holy sheesh.
And so he turned the boat parallel to the pier, and we rode up over the top of this swell. But just before we did that, we swung into the pier, and we hit the pier so hard that I looked up, and the bulwarks on the boat, which is the part of the side of the boat that comes from the deck up to the handrail, had completely split away from the bow of the boat, the height of the
Oh my. Oh
and
my.
As we came down, it broke that stainless steel cable, and the sparks flew. And we had to take all of our passengers to Newport to unload them.
Wow. Because
because
the
there was-
spring was broke.
Why we didn't have?
There was no way to get in
And the
there.
weather was too bad. Occasionally, we'd have to run up there with passengers. Occasionally, not too often.
But that's how you kept everyone safe.
That's right.
That's why you never had
You
anybody.
see, that's why we only ran from April, I think, the first weekend in April till Labor Day. That was it.
Yeah.
And then you mothballed the boats for the season.
Yeah, well, that's when you did your maintenance and painting.
Later, and then we go to Mexico and fish marlin.
Oh, cool. All right.
Yeah.
Bitchin'. So talk about that. So you guys started fishing in Mexico. What was that like?
Oh, we had
No one was down there
we
then,
had a
huh?
small boat,
17
foot skiff,
And you towed it down there?
and we towed it down there.
Where?
Mazatlan.
Mazatlan.
From San Clemente
Yeah.
to Mazatlan
Yeah.
in the 50s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Holy mackerel,
That was-
there's an adventure, huh?
we went all over Mexico in those days, and all over Baja in those days. There
That
was-
must have been so
there was
fun.
nobody down there. Well, Kenny was down there in the 60s, I know. In the 70s, weren't you? But anyway, we went down to Mazatlan, and Doug Perrin, who we told you had this Sure Fund, he had met a friend down there, Bill Heifel, who was a Mexican German, and he owned
Starfleet.
the Starfleet fishing boat.
Okay.
And so he let us keep the skiff right there in the water. In a
It was a landing
It's
called
a
the
landing.
Starfleet.
Down in Mazatlan.
Yeah, Mazatlan.
Okay.
So we up every morning. We get up, we go up to the market, and we buy mullet. We buy
Okay.
a string of mullet, and that's what we use for our
For your marlin bait.
Yeah.
Now, were you trolling them, pitching them?
Yeah.
What were you
Oh,
doing?
yeah.
What
Trolling 'em?
Bill showed us how to prepare the mullet, and you take the mullet and you'd lay him on his back or on his stomach, and then you'd cut along the dorsal fin on each side from the head to the tail, and you'd reach in and grab a hold of the backbone and snap it and lift the whole backbone completely out of the fish.
Okay.
And then we were using 7/0 needle eye hooks. And we didn't have any kind of stranded wire in those days. All I had was piano wire. And you would buy it in, say, 6, 8 foot lengths. Well, I took it, put a ring in with twisted eye, and put two of them together, so we had about a 15-foot leader.
Wow.
And you'd take this long hook, and you'd insert it in the mouth of the bait, and run it back and bring it out in the belly. So just the hook was showing,
Just the-
and then you'd sew the lip shut right on the eye of the hook.
Oh, wow.
And when you trolled that bait, it was just like a dish rag. It'd just flap along the side.
And we repair half a dozen of those